So I'm going to be skipping right past most of the dialogue unless I'm planning to do something very, very particular. But usually if it pertains to the actual ending that I'm going for, I'm probably going to stop and commentate the dialogue and let the voices rock as well. But for the most part, we're going to be skipping through this because if I'm going to show you these notes, it'll probably be on screen now. Otherwise, I'll switch back and yeah, I've only gotten Zoe, so we're going to stick with that because I rocked Zoe in MP2. Unfortunately, I did not continue playing MP2, but I still would pick Zoe out of the cast if I were to have the whole cast. Anyway, Glitch would probably be a close second, but I haven't gotten them yet. So again, I have some experience with this already, but I've basically made it so that I'm starting fresh here, so that if I plan to record more of MP3 or Roadtrip, then yeah, I'm gonna decide to do it on this clean save, I guess I'll say. But for the most part, I think what I plan to do, because of course I've looked around and I've made kind of, and I put warnings on just as a little reminder. And yes, I know the point of the game is to have fun with friends or enjoy the story. I'll do that on my own time because I want to focus more on the gameplay aspect. Goodness gracious, this should be stamina for money, but if I continue to do this, then this will be how it seems, me focusing on gameplay, because there is a game underneath the whole fun story and the characters and the plot and the dialogue and the endings and the combinations of zany things that can happen. There are 30, 40 locations? I can't remember the exact number off the top of my head. I only have about 4 to 6 hours under my belt. So, yeah, along with me, I will be talking about things here and there for the game specifically in terms of its presentation, but, yeah, if I were to I lost my train of thought. Anyway, I don't know all of this, but I have been taking notes on the side. However, when I'm going through videos like this and recording on my own, I'm not going to be exactly taking any notes on the side, which is going to suck, but hey, I'm going to be here, and I think we're past the minute already, so if any of the characters start cursing, then, yeah, we're gonna let them rock again. Because, listen, I've looked around, and I've watched a couple of my favorite people play this game and stream it or make videos on it, so, I have an idea of what's going on. Oh, what I was going to say is, I think there was someone specifically who came out with I guess kind of a meta guide. I kind of skimmed through it, hype down, soul up, but I swear I'll talk about my strategy going forward, but just to kind of, oh my goodness, where am I going? Just to go over someone did make a guide, and they set up this nice little template spreadsheet, which is very, very good. If you're playing this game on your own and trying to unlock everything, I really recommend you get it. It's just a template. It's not exactly a guide, because the game literally just came out like 2 or 3 days ago. That's not to say that there aren't any people who have already gone through and noted like 75% of the events, endings, characters, dialogues, possible choices and their effects, all that jazz, but it's not anything. It will help you take notes. It's just that personally for me, if there's too much verticality in the template, if I were to give a criticism, then it's kind of hard for me to use, both from a technical standpoint because of the programs I'm using, and it's hard for me to read in terms of readability because I have to scroll. Well, it's partly quality of life, but readability, verticality is not my strong point. That's partly because of my personal eyesight. It's not exactly 20/20, so it kind of hurts my eyes to look at it. Similar problem to a game I played in the past, except this time it's readability. So to fix that, if I were to, I don't want to usually give criticism without any possible improvements, or at least thinking about improvements or things to avoid and then improve upon if I'm completely wrong. But more horizontalness, if you can fit more horizontal on the notes, so even if you're repeating, because I think how the person who made the guide, they formatted it so that it's just a long vertical list and each row is a location. If you could somehow basically make 2 separate columns of, so like location, choice, 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 location, choice, 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 except that the way that the road trip functions in its choice and its branches might not allow for that, but that, if you understand what I mean, basically flatten it, if there's any way to flatten it and compress the information a lot more clearly, even if that's just to abbreviate things like hype, magic, mind. I think if I did show my legendary blue eyes, white, if I were to show if I showed my notes, then the way I abbreviate things is, so if you wrote down hype, money, magic, soul, mind, stamina as stats, then you can just abbreviate them down to the first 2 letters, because that will cover everything without very... By the way, the artwork in this is amazing, among other things, among everything else that is also just as, you know, all the time and effort that would have went in as a bare minimum. But again, yeah, if you just use the first 2 letters of every stat, you can still understand what they are, and then continue to compress that down. I think the person who made the guide color-coded it, so that works as well, and I think it's color blind friendly as well. I don't know why that's something that I really concentrate on, but also, yes, I am kind of autopiloting through this, but I think how I'm gonna do the timestamps, if I'm listening to myself in my editor, I will split them up by week. So if I really want to do more, probably gonna go Valerie here. If I wanted to do more, probably by each location in the week, but I think that's a bit too much. So yeah, I do have, I think I did hype, magic, and money on my actual save file, but this is a clean one, so you don't know, and I don't even unlock... Oh, that's right, certain things are not unlocked here anyway, but for the sake of doing a first pseudo-blind playthrough, for you, the viewer, to see how your first time might go as well, I highly recommend you buy the game yourself. This video is not sponsored by anyone or any company, so... again, what I'm telling you, I think it's on sale for like 10% off. It's still like $1, and I'm a very frugal person in terms of trying to shop usually. But yeah, it's on sale right now. Go get it if you want to go play yourself. Gosh dang it, Scott. But yeah, it's very good. So. And again, I'm here more for the gameplay. So at some point, again, if you want me to keep playing Monster Roadtrip, please let me know in the comment section or wherever you're gonna see me. Then if you want to, then I'll continue playing it, because this week is gonna be full of a variety of games, and that's all I'll say about that. Since I have Valerie ? I think I know where I want to try to go, except I don't remember the exact effects here. So basically, I'm just going through blind. I am pretty much blind here as well. But if I were to... I mean, I do understand a bit of the calculations at play. So, in particular, I don't actually know what the effects are here, but I do know I want to keep my stats moderately rounded, and with the exception of the stat I'm trying to raise. I think it's well balanced, in my opinion, from that standpoint, in terms of trying to get an ending, because the stats are adjusted, assuming you're on normal difficulty. Hard difficulty only, well, it removes 1 from every stat, which doesn't seem like much, but it actually is, because that's 6 stats that can't, or 5 really, that don't go towards the stat that you want. Still though, nonetheless, go PvP. I don't remember the effects here. Again, me remembering the effects would help out a bit more. It's ultimately a big numbers game. The big RNG factor, or the interactive factor for any repeat players who want to challenge themselves, is going to be the randomness of the locations. That's where I see things are most. And if you're doing self-imposed challenges, this should please give me hype. Again, I don't know. A veteran of 72 hours of gameplay would probably know the thing, or someone who visits the LARP location in a lot. But rewinding back for a moment, if you were to make your own challenges for this game, you know, randomly picking choices here and there, then yeah, that's... Again, I can think of ways to make the game more challenging. Of course, this is a very social party type game. Most people play this game as a social party type game. So, I mean...
What can go wrong?
But here I am playing this alone. And if I were to play it further, I would probably pick 4-player, but... I don't know if that exactly always means that I'm getting more endings or unlocking more content, I guess. Because the locations, the destination, you can only go to one destination, but you can get multiple types of endings, if that makes any sense. But also, I should be hitting the keyboard, because otherwise you're just hearing my mouse the whole time. Or I should just place my mouse farther away. So, and then rewinding back to stats, again, for single player anyway, if you're playing this by yourself, or you're playing it one playing it by yourself, and or you're only playing with one character, then you want it so that whatever your stat you're going for is the highest, obviously, or you want to reach the goal. Here I'm trying to do soul, but any other stat other than soul, I want to be moderately close to each other. There is some leeway, but let's see here. Go to the control gas station. But every other stat, so I want them all pretty much to give a fair share of their amount to the target of soul. So what that means is, since I think I need 25 for normal difficulty, I want each stat to give me 3, I think is how it plays out. That's in the perfect scenario. It's not perfect because this game is very random, very, very chaotic. So, again, but you have some leeway. So if your stats end up being, say, hype is 6, money is... hype is 6, money is 4, magic is 5, mind is 4, and then stamina suddenly like 11. You usually can still get a good ending there, but if it's something really, really... that's probably minor. I want soul to increase, but I don't know exactly, so I don't know what exactly will increase. I know money is going to go down, and obviously as the third addition to the game, again, I think I've said it before. If I didn't, then this is the first time I'm saying it, but games usually, you know, the third parts of any game is usually a good one, so... yeah, let's talk. We'll go for the Valerie ending. I don't know if she's necessary for any of the destinations. Again, I'm pretty much am blind, but again, pseudo-blind because I know how the game tries to work. However, this video is not for anyone who wants to see the dialogue and the storylines, because there's so many of them. Kudos to anyone trying to accumulate them all into one video. That's not going to be me. So, yeah. If anything, I hope I am giving you some insight into how the game's innards work in terms of the technical or strategy behind it. There is a game underneath this, or not underneath, there's a game on this. That sounds kind of bad. I don't want to say it like that, but I think this I've been to this, actually. I've been to this location for quite a bit, so... I'll do what I realize. So I think this is money for stamina. Yeah, money for stamina. We'll see, because there. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, it's not like I did much, but I can still kind of try to equalize them. Again, the whole point is to increase soul, which I can do by going to the caves. But what I was going to say about 3 is that compared to 2 and 1, obviously 1 being the very first version, so there's no, you know, there's not really thought, there's the idea is to get the game out and work on what you wanted to do, which is the characters, the voice actors, obviously, the presentation of the game as a whole, if I were to repeat to what I said earlier. And then the balance is kind of because you didn't really want to... There was not really any indication of what would happen. 2 kind of started, and then here 3, the tutorials are literally... If you don't know, if you wanted to know what the tutorials are, although you probably have gotten frustrated by that point that I've skipped it, even though I've warned you that I'm mainly focusing on the gameplay. But the tutorials are basically saying that if things sound like a certain stat, like hype is all about being crazy, chaotic, anarchy-like, soul is all about being very ethical, you know, not driving over a kitten or not, you know, doing bad things to women and children, things of that nature. Money is all about being very greedy. Magic is magic is more the fuel for your car. Actually, that's a literal I think quote, because magic fuels your car. here, because it does. Mind is more about inner mental health and stability, inner peace. And then stamina is, well, don't throw food away, do things that allow you to get physical rest. Mind, I think, mind and magic kind of share the mental part of that, but stamina is all about physical conditioning. Don't throw away food. Eating food will increase stamina most likely. So yeah, that's all. That's for what most of the tutorials go over. If they're not talking about specific events, you can still hover over things. People often miss that. You can hover over, even while you're hovering over the location. You can hover onto the icon while you're hovering a location. So let me show you in a moment. So say I want to go to the 90s action movie city. I can hover over, see that it's going to increase hype, decrease stamina, or do an unknown. I'll explain that more in a bit, but icons for negative status effects, unless you can toggle it here, but again, you can always hover over and see it there. These will correspond directly to the icons you see up in your stat sheet. And then unknown actually is, from what I've seen, you don't actually know. It's not a guarantee. So one choice in the unknown could increase mind and decrease soul, but the second one can increase magic and decrease stamina, things like that. It's not always one increases, one decreases. But these, if it says you'll always gain hype, it'll present you two choices. Both of them will increase your hype, or during the event your hype will increase, but both choices will decrease one or another stat. And then the opposite for if it will decrease a stat, which I don't want to do right now, so let's increase our hype for now, hopefully, and not decrease soul. So again, there is some strategy that can be involved if you're really trying to game. If you are being very competitive with your with people you're playing with, and you decide to, you know, do a series about this. Maybe you want to do a quote-unquote season of I don't get it. Monster Roadtrip, which is, again, it's kind of set up to be very welcoming to the first-time player, but for anyone who starts learning the game as a whole, if you're going for completion or you're actually playing with friends very competitively, for whatever reason, then you can start memorizing events and their effects. How, again, the most RNG factor is, well, things that happen. There are RNG factors that can take you away from your goal, whether that's to win or whether that's to unlock more things. That said, we're going to visit Valerie again. I'll explain the other part. Well, the info board allows you to guarantee a location that will appear for the week. The bench will allow you to talk with Scott and or Polly. In terms of unlocking things, you can unlock their ending. Otherwise, they have their own effect. Meanwhile, deep conversations will allow you to basically lock in your date ending minus a bad ending that overwrites it. But again, that will be in a tutorial, but since I'm going to be skipping them, I might as well say them out loud for you. I could just come out with a video talking about very introductory things. I should also have listened to this, but I basically have a 66% chance on normal difficulty, so nope. Wow. Needless to say, not needless to say. Actually, the run before, I actually messed up a 66% chance as well. So, yeah, oof. I'm still gonna go for well, we'll see what I go for, because everything's equal, and I can pick up another hitchhiker. However, starting week 4, I think everything receives a +1... stat increases from locations, I think, maybe even sudden stops. I don't remember what those events are called. I should have actually listened to the tutorial that time, but yeah, starting week 4, your stat increases and decreases will increase by 1. So if mind would increase by 2, it'd increase by 3. If soul would decrease by 2, it would decrease by 3 as well, as I will show you right here. And I think 6 is a +2 modifier, but let's find out for sure. Because as you saw in the last one, so yeah, I lost 3 soul there, but I will be getting 3 of a stat somewhere. If you're really wiping out the story in your head and playing it for pure gameplay for whatever reason, it's all basically just, one, after you memorize the events, what are the effects? and 2, if you're going in blind, you're guessing. So, but again, you can still strategize. Again, if you know the effects, I know there's a choice that always increases hype, always increases stamina, always increases mind, but something will decrease because that's it's a trade-off event. And then usually if the third option here is a question mark, if you're going through for the first time, it's a risk event. So you saw me do one earlier. I'll try to explain one if I get there again. However, the game usually, so if we were to talk in terms of MMORPG raid terms, as the weeks increase, because of the modifier increase as the game goes on, you basically hit a soft enrage. There might be a hard stop, which would be a hard enrage. Probably like, I don't know, I haven't hit it yet. If there is any, someone probably already knows the answer and you're watching this, but since I don't know, I would say it would be around week 8. If there's not, even then, since the modifiers keep increasing, you're either going to end up failing your road trip because of resources will hit 0, or you'll hit you'll hit a destination because the modifier will push up a stat to 25, or in hard difficulty 30. Which is a quick, again, since hard difficulty you lose one of every stat. I was thinking about something for a moment. I'll say it in a moment. But since you lose one of every stat and the destination goals become 30, so that's ultimately a lot of. If you're looking at percent-wise, that's a lot. That's the destination increases by 20%, and you lose 10% of every stat, which is quite a lot. Which I think is why the game did a good job in terms of setting up how you quote-unquote increase stats, and you're basically trading things off. However, there are events that ultimately increase your stats, or decrease if you fail them, so that's something to be careful for. But you still have leeway to kind of adjust things. If you don't know any of the results, however, you will probably be floundering around and just die. So, so here we're going to be losing money. We have to guess which resource we'll gain unless we're aware of the event. But we will be losing money no matter what, which I don't really mind. I can switch my destination if it increases hype, magic, and mind. And if I had any, and if I were paying attention to the story, by the way, because I'm blind, I would be able to tell what stat might increase. Again, since I went over how the stats are related to the choices and basically hints that they give you if you're going into the game blind. But if you're not blind, again, eventually a guide or something will come out that shows you all the effects, but still. So we're getting hype. We can go concentrate on hype in mind, but we'll see what happens. You are really... let me see here. Yeah, we'll explore. You're really... Well, single player wise, you're really pushed towards only increasing one stat. If you increase 2, I don't know if that guarantees a bad end, because, again, all of your stats usually need to be equalized, except for the stat that you want to increase. That's just how, apparently, that the game is designed in terms of the endings. So to get a good ending, you want to only concentrate on one stat and equalize the rest, unless they're doing very specific endings, but there's no way to know for sure. Again, I'm going in blind, so maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong. In certain places, it's not 100% either way, but... Also, I'll do one last apology for... Oh, that's a lot of soul. I'll do one last apology for me kind of speeding through, talking over, and kind of floundering around pretty much, but again, this is my experience. This is going to be my first in this Halloween. So, oh hey, I hope that doesn't... Alright, well, I'm going to do that, and I'm going to do this. So, 23 there. And we'll keep moving on. So, let's see here. Yeah, we'll do a risk. So, risk decisions as my audio comes back, because I need to make sure I do something. Basically, it's set up to give you a 1, 2, 3 choice. The first choice, or the one that only has 1 bar, increases a stat by 1 and decreases a stat by 1 at base. 2, with 2 arrows, increases. Your stats will increase by 2 randomly. It doesn't need to be just 2 magic. It could be 1 magic or 1 mind. But your stats will decrease by 2 accordingly as well. So soul might decrease by 2, or soul might decrease by 1, and stamina by 1. And then the same thing for 3. The kicker to this is that if you have a modifier, say by a passive effect or by the weak, you'll notice that I instead get 2 of a stat, and my stats also decrease by 2. So let's be sure, because that's my theory at the moment. I haven't confirmed it. So again, yeah, I lose 2 hype, but I should get 2. I got 2 mine there. So normally I would get 1 mine and lose 1 hype, but again, we're on week 4, so we have a +1 modifier. That doesn't mean increases only increase by 1. That also means decreases are modified by 1, which is why I say a +1 modifier. Anyway, let's try to pick up another hitchhiker. Because I also haven't... do I want to do this? Fine. Hey, Ravi, I both love you and hate you. I want to love you. You're one of my favorite characters. However, I hate the fact that you're so hard to get together with. Anywho. With a Ravi here, I might... Well, actually... Am I? Oh, yeah. I mean, it's pretty obvious, right? We'll see, because I have no idea. All of these are random, quote-unquote, random locations. To me, they're random because I don't remember every effect, but we'll keep moving on. So if there's nothing else to introduce, I'll probably go over other things, but we still have a couple of things to go over, so I think we're still at +1. I think week 6 is when it's +2. I think I mentioned it before, but since this is all random, I don't know for sure, so let's find out. And if I end up dying here, then oh well, but... It would be nice to reach the end, though, because I really liked the the streamer-friendly version of the credits sequence. Mainly the song, but we'll find out, because I took a big risk here. Hey. And if there was to be... Well, again, the developers, yeah, I can go over that. Developers, I don't know them personally, obviously. I don't know anyone who worked on the game personally, so I don't want to... I don't want to... Yeah, I don't want to make it seem like I know anything on the inside. That's not the case, but they're working on a lot of things. If I had the choice, there would probably be some way... I mean, it wouldn't make sense with the events, but if you're playing for gameplay... I shouldn't have checked the pet contest. I don't know why I did that, but... you can make it so... Gameplay-wise, you can make it so that everything is well, depends on how much you want it. I would just make everything completely random, or to allow it to be, like, you know, there's a toggle where this isn't always soul, because right now it is. This could be mind, this could be magic, this could be hype. Again, in terms of dialogue, it wouldn't really make sense. You could reason it to make sense because of the nature of how the plot works, but if you really wanted to make more, tweak the gameplay to give a different experience, because challenges, I think, can be a subjective thing to people. Randomness is very unliked by certain types of people, and I don't say that in a negative way, like, oh, those people are bad. I mean that, like, they're people who literally... You hear me hate on randomness all the time. I say it in a jest form, but some people don't consider luck to be a very skillful thing to do. So being lucky is not very exciting, and I understand the reason why. Because you're not really in control. It's not really a measure of your own personal ability, is the argument. So, and I do also hold the same kind of thing. I'm just saying, if I were to somehow make the game harder, to remove the predictability, quote-unquote, from events, if somehow the game adds a toggle for complete randomness, you toggle it on, then, again, the stats are completely flipped. I don't know how the developers programmed, or the person whoever did it, I don't know how they programmed the stats in. It would take some tweaking, but depending on it, if I'm thinking about how the engine used and the coding that might be employed, it could go from, you know, I say about a month's worth of work, which includes testing and whatnot, to almost impossible because you tied it in. Again, I don't know how the game was designed and coded, but that's it's not impossible, and it would be for a very niche audience, including me. Otherwise, the developer's already working on things they want to add in the future. If you noticed in the main menu, the gallery is grayed out. That's not because it's my first time on this save file. It's because they haven't. I'm pretty sure they're working on stuff. Not because they're trying to hide anything. I'm pretty sure there's some I have a couple theories, but they would be theories, so I don't want to put words in their mouth. But they're working on things, all right? They want to add more things, as they did to Monster Prom 2. So, that said, I do want... Hey, Rafi. I do want my soul to... Everything goes down, and my magic is at 7, because I wasn't really paying attention, and that's my fault. I am kind of autopiloting right now, so I probably wasn't even skipping through as fast as I should. But, again, this is what I mean by if I were to focus completely on gameplay. One, I'm missing so much of what makes the game good. Not saying that the game itself, like, if we were to objectively remove the characters and the dialogue and the plot, which would make for a very stale game overall, but if you're looking purely at the gameplay, there's still a game, there's a very real game to be played here. So, but obviously the characters, the plot, depending on how you steer the plot, the characters, dialogue, and how it interacts with the game itself is a very, very, for lack of a better word, as I'm recording, beautiful thing. Also, I have money, so I have time to do this. Hey, food truck.
Monster Slayer, and food truck owner.
I think I want to try to go for magic here, but my weeks are building up, and I haven't... I don't think I can do it here. Can I do it here? It would be hard because it'd be the first time through. Also, since I'm recording, I can also go back and do what you, the viewer, can do and pause in the middle of these dialogues, because it's not like I'm censoring any of it. And even if I were to try to mash through it, you can always pause the video, me. So, yeah. But
hot dogs?
I love A-Ravi though. A-Ravi, Arav. Oh my goodness! If I'm pronouncing it, I've said, hey, it's I admit fault for that. And then Zoe, and then Polly. So if I were to give a ranking, right behind them would be Brian and Calculister. So if you were to ask me for my top 5 off the top of my head, that's mine, right? Yeah. So let's go to the secret government lab as Scott sings 69 bottles of beer on the wall. So some people, again, and for most people, they're gonna one-off this game with their friends, maybe play a couple. Those who are really into, well, I know. No, I don't want to say in case they don't want to. So, but yeah, most people one-off this. That's the. It's for I think the game is around $10 USD right now. So, you know, it's very good price for what it offers you. And if you're trying to complete everything. Yeah. It's gonna take you a bit. It's definitely, I don't know, well, I'm sure someone could do it, but it would be hard for you on average to, complete this game in under 2 hours, let's just say that. Also note that I'm on week 6 and I lost -4 mine, but I will be getting +4 of something. I would have liked it to be magic, but, Aravi will be helping us take care of that. And I think that's also are the character passive effects also affected by the modifier? But let's get rid of hype here and we'll see if I can increase magic. It's a double-edged sword. This soft enrage of the modifier increase, but if we go on, at least I'll have footage of me confirming it for sure. Zoe, no. Digital detox, by the way.
Smile for the camera.
And we'll see if I can get this. And we'll also see if I can do tears as tears on my first playthrough as well. Nonetheless, you're going to be going through this game multiple times, so... And if you're, you know, really engaged in the game, then your game could take anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour to more than 2 hours. Most people I've seen take 90 minutes going through normally. I think I'm already here at 30-something minutes, so... And I might even not complete this road trip, by the way, so... That said, oh, let's decrease our stamina. So it'd be nice to increase my magic, but we're gonna get a sudden stop. I swear it's called something else, but let's find out. This is an A-Ravi event. Most of the time when you pick up hitchhikers, they'll add their sudden stop events. That's what I'm calling it. I'm sure there's an actual term. I should really look it up, because otherwise I'm going to keep saying sudden stop events. And one, I can't even pronounce it correctly, as I noticed for myself. And two, that's probably not the actual term that the game uses, because the tutorial exists, and that's what I get for skipping it. Well, I didn't skip it the first time, but I'm pretty sure I forgot. So, Take me home, country roads. Please don't, magic down, really? I mean, I know my hype is gonna increase, but oof.
Yes.
Hey, Ravi, your passive effect increases magic, but you have an event that decreases it.
Be still.
Unless you're actually for the hype destination, which would be kind of odd, but
Hello.
I would rather finish the trip than fail the trip. So you know what? If my hype goes over in this event, or
Today we
in a short amount of time, if magic doesn't increase soon, then I'll just go hype. And again, if I were paying attention to the dialogue because I'm going in blind, I could probably do some educated guesses to increase my stats, but
Such an annoyance.
also my money is taking a big hit, so I need to... My money is gonna get bled dry unless I do something quick. So, picnic spot. Unless I lose my money here, because if I lose my money here, I think... I keep calling her that because of something else. If you're really in tune with this channel, then you'll know why I keep pronouncing it that way, but... or if you know me in real life, but you hit so hard, this removes stamina, I'm pretty sure. But let's hope. Scott. Gosh dang it. And when I say Scott, well, no, I won't say that. So, more hype. I guess we're going hype here. And we're losing money, but... do I want to take this risk?
Let's choose wisely.
But if I do this, I can't do this. Let's go big risk. I don't know why I'm doing this actually.
What's
But
our strategy here?
let's go. So +1 magic, lose 1 money, but it's it's odd that they didn't add that there's a modifier here. They probably might say it somewhere, but usually it would be available information, but you know. Or maybe it's something that's actually well obfuscated, or when I say well obfuscated, I mean, you know, it's very intuitive. You don't need to see a guide or tutorial on it to understand that as the weeks progress. Or maybe you notice it, but you're like, oh, my stats increased by 4, but I decreased by 4 as well. But, oh, is this the, well, oh. Hey, Ms. Baldabadabor. Yeah, it's even spelled with a fancy... Oh my goodness, can't pronounce that. I'm just gonna fail myself. But we did get it because there's a very noticeable audio cue along with something else. But if I end up failing this road trip, it won't matter. So, yes. Yeah, and I think I need to go to magic for this one, but we might end up going to hype if we have no other choice. Again, I really should just take the ending that's being given to me, but we'll find out. We have soul. Yeah, we have soul. We'll trade soul. Yeah, I know, Scott. Also, we're under the effect of Aravi, so, ooh, I need money soon, then. Maybe I should have went to... This was that Pancake Diner? It looks like the Pancake Diner. Anyway, we are here at the abandoned village, and so I don't see anything that guarantees money, so I'm gonna do what I can hope. I hope is best. I feel like one of these choices did increase money. I do remember this event, but this looks like stamina, so we're gonna go VHS. And we're also gonna lose a bunch of magic. Unfortunately, nope, we get mined. Oh boy. And I'm trying to build magic. Otherwise, I would have just built hype if I really didn't know. But since I do have some prior knowledge, I'm gonna do magic. Unfortunately, I'm gonna hope that one of these increases money, because I do guarantee I don't have to guess on what decreases, so I know it won't be money. This could also have it again, since I don't know for sure. You know what? Actually, I do have my notes in front of me. Since I'm not writing anything down, however, I am, yeah, so this does give me money. Let me see which one it is. I think it is the, in the whole thing, right? Footnotes gives you mind, I think, but we have too much mind right now, so we're gonna take money here. And this is basically gonna become magic, but we need this to not die, so... How much do we... And you can hover over here to see how many quote-unquote locations you have left before the next pit stop. So we're gonna go to the Cryptic Tech Company and hopefully lower... Cryptic Tech Company. Actually, I could do this in the meanwhile. So let me see. mind. I have mind. So what we're gonna do here is I'm gonna use my notes to make sure I don't die here. So, it's not actually, no, I won't call it cheating. What are you talking about, me? But I am using prior knowledge to, or I'm sorry, notes and prior knowledge to go through. Unless I wrote down my notes wrong. Again, I only did about 4. Oh wait, we're also in the metaverse, so you know how much work it would have taken just for those 2 separate variations of Scott and Polly? Gosh dang it, that's at least a whole day. And if it's not, still there's so many. So there's so many. Even if it took whoever was in charge of making those. By the way, solve the situation for mind for money, but. Even if it, say, took them a couple of hours, that's still a lot compared to the amount of variations of not only just Scott and Polly, but every other character. For playable characters, both in locations, because they don't really show up. Say for Zoe, who can be a hitchhiker, not really a spoiler. But,
Let's win this thing.
But for other characters, they're sometimes wearing different outfits, so... yeah, that's a lot. I don't know. Hey, let's, don't mind me typing these things in the back in case I, yeah, don't mind me doing this in the back. I'll just be doing this. And, going to the Planetarium, and then going to the laser show that will be in the Planetarium, because I have this, wow, this cool guide in front of me, even though they didn't release a limited special edition of Roadtrip, that says if you go to the laser show and you pick the 1 risk option, your mind will increase, but your hype will decrease. So, the important part is that I don't fail, so... And Arab is going to take a couple more... If I had a little bit more, I might be okay, but theoretically, wait, no, do I have to wait the whole week before I reach my destination?
To update my fanfic.
I can't really do much else, so what I can... hey, we're gonna go in here, and I'm gonna hope I have enough, psychic ability to know that in the bartering stand, my resources change based on what trinket, whatever trinket I give has a value attached to it, but whatever trinket I buy gives me that value. I think this is also affected by modifiers. I think this is Magic, the sequel. Don't mind me if you can hear anything in the background. And let's see, cult membership ring, karma points, that's soul, right? Let's do this cult membership ring. Yeah, hey! Our magic went up. I actually didn't know if the ring would give me magic, so now I know. And, no, yeah, unfortunately I don't get any tigers here. Maybe, well, let's find out. And if it's not Arabi, then it's not Arabi. But if it is Arabi, we're gonna find out in a hot moment here, so... Hey, we made it to our destination with the power of some psychic 4D dimensional abilities. Otherwise, I probably would have likely failed, and that wouldn't have been good. You cross the magic portal and end up in a whimsical land full of magic. Apparently, these domains were created by a powerful spell years ago. What was the purpose of the spell? To imprison an ancient evil? To produce a source of power? To build a very big storage room? You may never know. You only know one thing for sure. You're here now, and you're ready for a big adventure. This is where your road trip ends, but a whole new journey begins. And that wasn't all. We're on to the character endings. Congrats, you reached a destination, but there's more to it. Every player gets an individual ending. You could end up with the loser ending, an okay ending, and the MVP ending. In multiplayer mode, which is what most people play, the result is going to be based on how much you contributed to the resources related to the destination you reach. In my case, magic. In single-player mode, it's determined by your overall resource spread. So again, you want them to kind of be near each other, and we're going to find out if this is okay. There's also the date ending, which has its own requirements, but if you get the loser ending, you don't get your date ending. So I found out the hard way when I was messing with player number, but let's find out. So yeah, it's moderately still okay. Hey, I was looking at you. Well, isn't that a lot of stuff? I'm wondering, because this is one of the only ones that doesn't get a warning, but we'll find out. But then I told her 3 things I like about Aravi, like, really go ahead and say things I like about her. She listened to what I said. In my mind, if she blushed anymore, she could have very well died of her blood, all of her blood rushing to her face. Like your stupid face. And I'm being a tsundere. So, yeah. Yes. Who could not love a Ravi, right? Well, there's a lot of characters to love here. But hey, for now, until we get the gallery as well, which I'll show you. But enjoy the credits, because I'm going to be laughing along in case weird things happen, even though it's streamer friendly. But hey, I'll also let it rock. And just like that, the road trip came to an end. It was full to the brim with danger, fun, and utter nonsense. It was everything we could have expected from a trip with Polly and Scott, and then some. We not only survived the whole thing, but we conquered it and came out different people, says the narrator. It all turned out to be a pilgrimage into self-discovery, a rite of passage, a quest for growth, and a lot of psychic abilities. So it's just been a really good road trip. As we were heading back home, I thought about how all this was just one of the first stops in a much bigger journey that was only beginning. So, if you have a streamer version on, this is the song you'll get. I flipped the turtle back, by the way.
Yes. The developers asked for a couple things. One is to remind you to leave a good review.
Yeah.
So I left a reminder in the song. It's well hidden for you to see. I made it fit the images seamlessly. No idea what this game is about. Looks like some sort of racing game. I only know it has hot monsters. So I will sing about what I know. Like how Cloudy Martinez is the best. 5 stars, 10 out of 10. I could be writing songs all day. Okay, second thing.
By the way, one of those names you saw was also in the credits of another game I played.
Careless dreaming day and night. Here's some of the things that don't infringe any
Hey,
kind of car.
I love you, Claudia Martinez.
Like a lazy orange cat, but his name is Garfield. Or the work of artists who died centuries ago. Like Paco.
Oh god.
See? That's fine. He's super dead. Just out of ideas to sing. Apple pie, cinnamon swirl, a shovel. Don't ask. Carrots and beets. This is just my grocery list. Please leave a good review, my love. Please leave a good review, my friend. Please
Hey, look at her, Ravi.
review, my darling.
Vera Miranda.
Please leave a good review, my friend. Please leave a good review, my boy. 5 stars, 10 out of 10. Best game ever, I will play it again.
Oh, I'm definitely gonna be playing again.
Yes, we're done. We sang all the things the developers want. We're stop wondering about turtles and where it's gone.
Dang it.
By the way, did you notice when I hit the review message?
Yeah, I did.
Yes, I know, I'm so
Did you,
sorry.
viewer?
Please don't mention it. Please leave a good review,
Back
my
into the
love.
back into the stanza.
Leave a good
First
review,
stanza.
my friend. Please leave a good review, my darling.
By the way, did these characters get older? I feel like they did, because
10 out of 10.
anywho.
Best game ever, I will play it again.
Anywho, again, to repeat one more time as you're listening here, if you want to see me play this game again, please let me know in the comments section. Or if you have anything else that you want to say, I'll try to respond if it makes sense. Otherwise, yeah. Thank you, beautiful glitch, and I will see you later.